it looks blurry.
I look fat.
We want to go where people know your name.
We wanna go where people know your name.
I feel like I'm doing a mug shot right here. I don't like the position I'm in right here. It's just like, sir, please don't smile and hold that up.
Hey, what's your numbers, dude?
Drop it like it hot.
Drop it like it hot. Drop it like it hot. Drop it like it hot.
Yeah, it was like, ow, ow, ow. I'm getting a few bits from people. People are saying, hey, can you drop a shorter? Welcome to Midwest Mayhem. He is Chad Christensen. I am Tron Smith. And this wonderful podcast has been presented to you by Wilson Toyota, 2212 South Duff Avenue, just a short drive from anywhere in the metro. And I'm telling you, if you are looking for the perfect spot, and when I say perfect, a lot of things aren't perfect, but this is the perfect spot to purchase your next vehicle, or maybe you're looking to service your vehicle. Or with the winter and the snow out there right now, maybe you need someone to fix your. We have a certified collision center along with a certified service department. They are open 6 days a week. They are a great department. And if you're looking to purchase one, man, Wilson Toyota is your spot. Again, that's 2212 South Duff Avenue, just a short drive from anywhere in the metro. And they are proud sponsors of Midwest Mayhem. Chad Christensen, welcome to 2024. How does that feel?
It feels fantastic. It is going to be an amazing year. I can't wait. It's already started.
More in 24, dude. You know, it's
I
one
like
of those
it.
things is where you come into a new year and I'm not a resolution guy. You
No,
know what I mean?
no.
And the reason why I'm not, I gotta clear the smoke here. The reason why I'm not is because every day I try to get better. So it's like every day I'm looking for something to do better. I'm looking
Right.
to learn something.
Right.
So I don't just wait until the end of the year. I pretty much
Right.
on a day-to-day basis, it's like, man, how do I get better? So, but I am kind of the person that coming into the new year, I do have a thought process of things that need to, we really need to work on.
Improve.
Improvement is a good thing,
Yeah, I agree.
right? So
I agree.
So what would you do? How did you bring the new year? How about that one?
Well, as you know, I had influenza A, and I was on the couch, man. It was great. By myself.
Hey, you know what? That's a great attitude because like this, at least you were here, right?
I'm still here.
Hey, the dude that wasn't here in 2024, he wish he would trade you. He'll take the
Yeah,
influenza
I
all
agree.
day long.
I agree.
But there was just so much going on, so many good things. In 2023, just to recap, some of the great things that we did out there. I mean, as a store, we really kind of launched our new brand, the Wilson Experience, where you see and what a great launch that was. Just kind of
It's been phenomenal.
I mean, allowing the customers to kind of get a real feel for who we are and why it was so important to give them the Wilson Experience and everything that we do. That was a very, very big job to change that and get it out there. After being the Wilson, known as Wilson, now we're known as Wilson Toyota, which is a really good thing. Again, it's all about the experience. Check us out everywhere you are. Some of the cool things and some of the cool logos that you see now, if you want to check them out firsthand, if you are a Instagram or Twitter person, you can go to @WilsonofAmes, or if you are a Facebook, TikTok person, you can go to @Wilson Toyota of Ames. And if you really want to see what we look like, you can always get down, roll with the big dog. You can check me out at Big Strong. That's 2 G's when you're as big as I am on that Twitter, and @BigStrong1 on that Insta chat. Holla at your boy.
Check him out.
It's like every time we get on this podcast, there's something that we look forward to. People saying the same thing.
I do. Oh, yeah.
Get on there. But you know what? As we forward into 24, when it comes to the podcast, man, we want to make sure that we're putting out. We did a really good job here over the last year, putting out some pretty good content. We want to get into some current affairs. I think it's really awesome that we're starting to get customer questions.
Right. Well,
honestly,
we were trying just to figure things out in 2023.
Well, that's
you know what I mean, as far as the podcast goes.
Well,
we were just moving forward, and then, well, that didn't work. Let's try this. Okay, next. All right. So no, and I think we've cleaned it up a lot, and I think it's just getting better and better. I think this year it's going to be. We're going to take a big step forward this year, baby.
Well, that's what we're looking for. Kind of like in 23 to get people involved and get some really good content out there. We got some great feedback, which is always awesome.
Love it.
One thing I really want to get into, I'm going to drop some shorter inserts in here just to kind of get into,
right.
See if we can't stay motivated. I've had a few people say, "Man, can you give me a little taste in the week off?" You know, I thought that was kind of cool. You know,
I like
were
it.
like, man, I can't wait 2 weeks. I need a little taste.
Oh, they probably were asking for me. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. Hey, man, whatever trips your trigger, man, you can go with that. But, you know, we're going to work on some things like that. And then as far as the store is concerned, man, I mean, what a growth pattern we had in 23. Just getting a lot of new people involved, man. We made some great hires in 23. Great salespeople. We did gain Sam and Noah Henderson.
Yep.
Who joined our team. Giovanna Cordova, which is going to be awesome. She's going to do a great job on our team last year. Man, who else did we add last year? Forgot about, you know what's funny? I forgot about Steven. And it's weird
Steven.
when I talk about Steven Estrada joining our team because, I met Steven. I bet you he was like 5.
Yeah,
You know,
he's been around.
I've seen him around a dealership forever, and he started in service, and then now he's over in sales, doing a great job for us. So some really good ads in 2023, and now we just got to make sure we grow as a team and do that.
You know what's exciting about the younger guys that have come in and compared to the veterans, at least in what I see, is that energy, enthusiasm, willingness to learn, and you know they're doing a great job getting started and building.
Man.
And building.
They're doing a good job of reminding the veteran guys why they got in the business.
Right.
I think a lot of times if you stay in this business too long and you don't have that true inner drive, you kind of lose some of the gusto of what it's about. I think some of these new guys coming in and being excited just about helping a customer through the process has really shown some of the veteran guys, this is why I got in the business.
Right.
And sometimes you need that. You need a new guy to come in.
Well, you need to light a little fire once in a while.
Well, you know, it's just to remind you why you're in this business. This business is not for everyone.
No, it's definitely not. I've tried to explain that to some of the guys and gals as we've hired them on. Simply is, it's not for everyone. People think that you can just walk into this career and establish yourself, and as long as you can talk or as long as maybe you can learn something, but if you don't know how to connect with people, really connect, you'll never succeed in this.
Well, it is a people industry. You have to know people, but you also have to know metal. And tying those two things together is, I think, what makes it tough for some people. I think the toughest thing for any salesperson or any new salesperson is understanding the difference between a job and a career. And if you come into retail sales thinking it's a job, you're going to have a tough time keeping your head above water. You want to come in and you want to make the biggest splash that you can possibly make. And that's what any industry or any success is about. Man, how can I make a big splash? And I was sharing with the guys this morning, taking the path of least resistance only allows you to make such a splash. You know, the path of least resistance leaves a little splash.
Right. Makes total sense.
So if that's what you're doing, if you're taking the path of least resistance in this business, you're going to have a tough time staying in this business. We want to make sure we jump out there. So as going forward into 24, I would encourage all your salespeople, find that sales manager that drives you. The guy you don't like, the
makes you a little uncomfortable.
Well, the guy that makes you uncomfortable, the guy that makes you do your job right, the guy that makes you out of your comfort zone. Right. If he can get you out of your comfort zone, that's the guy you want to go to, because that's the guy that's going to drive you to be successful. And that's my world, man. I'm like, I value all of my salespeople. Some people prefer to work with me. Some people don't. Doesn't bother me either way. I'm a driver. All you guys know I like to win. Second place sucks. Right. So it's like everything I do is at a high level and do that. And I appreciate the guys that want to be pushed that way, and I'm okay with pushing. And the guys that don't want to be pushed, I'm okay with leaving.
Well, we talk about 24 and why we're going to make it better, right? Mm-hmm. And we continue to talk about how do we make ourselves from good to great, right? How do we make those that feel like they're great even better, right? As a Wilson Toda, I want to be the best. Period. I don't care if we're a smaller dealership compared to others. I want everyone to go, I want to go there, and I want to see that guy.
Yeah. Absolutely. And in order for you to do that in any organization, especially in the automotive industry, you have to be able to execute. And that's a big word. And I encourage all the sales managers, all the general sales managers and owners, I want you to think about that word execute. I talked about it here the other day. You can have all the talent. You can have some of the most talented salespeople out there. But if they can't execute in this industry or your process, they're going to fail. They're not going to be able to get you to where you need to be. So the toughest thing in this business is having talent or teaching talent or training talent.
I was just going to say training.
And then B, you have to make sure that your talent can execute the process to get the customer where they need to be in their process. And in order to do that, you have to train them.
To train them.
There's no way you can expect someone to come in this industry and just learn from watching. That's a tough thing. This isn't a watching process. You have to teach people, and then you have to kind of help them through the process. You can't just learn from watching, and it takes time. Most sales managers don't train because it takes time.
It does.
It allows you to.
We spend quite a bit of time here too.
Well, it's always funny when I meet other sales managers and we start talking about training, and they say, "What's your training schedule look like?" Or do you have a training schedule? I always like to share with them, we have a consistent training schedule 3 times a week, and they say, "Holy smokes, that's a lot."
Yeah. Overkill, but it's not.
It's funny. It's funny because I always think that, is that overkill? It amazes me how many people come back to me on a consistent basis and say, "Hey, can I come back to training?
Yeah.
I need to be trained." Man, I train every day myself.
Well, you kind of brought it up with the refresher with the young guys and the veterans. Even going back into training and just sitting and listening for a half hour or so, and then all of a sudden you walk out and they go, "Oh, I can use that. Ooh, I can use that right now."
It's funny
right now.
The things that you forget in time. The longer you do something, it's funny because Joshua. He's gonna get mad. I call him Joshua.
I can't believe you went there.
Joshua, Danny, and I sat down and with another gentleman by the name of Alex. We sat down years ago and we wrote The Road to the Sale, and we took things from some of our best salespeople that have ever done it. We took cues from owners, cues from GMs, cues from everybody that we can come up with, and we wrote this process. And in this process, we realized that if you can just execute that process correctly,
that's the key.
It puts you in a win-win situation. It puts the consumer in a win-win situation, and it allows the buying process to be efficient and seamless.
When you use that word execute again, if you follow that road, the process executes itself to the end to where there's just decisions to be made. How much are we going to put down? What is our terms going to be? It makes the process more simple if you execute the steps to get there, A to Z.
100%. And it's really weird when I think about a Toyota dealership not having a process, because that's Toyota. That's everything. Any training class that we go to, when the region comes in and they're training us on something, and you coach of the coach.
Oh man, here we go
coach
again.
Of the coach. Hey, get the coach of the coach going on.
I felt like Coach K, man. I was going to bring in my Ducat.
Coach of the coach, and we'll get into that later on in our podcast. But that's going to be kind of a cool, fun thing. But you think about the process in which Toyota works at a high level. Everything they do is out of process. Everything they do has a start and an end with a whole bunch of meat and potatoes in between.
Right.
But everything that Toyota does, they execute. I always talk about the gaps in Toyota's cars and how they're all the same, and what it would take for every every manufacturing line for Toyota has to be working and executing at the same level for that to be that thing. Can you imagine the attention to detail it takes for every single TM and every single manufacturing line to run efficient and execute the way that happens for every gap where metal meets metal to be the same in Toyotas?
And it doesn't happen overnight.
It's crazy, right? It's the execution that it takes. We were talking about going forward into this year, sales managers, GMs, even salespeople, wherever you are in the dealership. This is one thing I want you to focus on going forward. I want you to focus on if you were able to execute the small things.
I wrote that down.
Well,
I didn't write execute, but I wrote small things, the little things.
Were you able to execute the small things?
Right.
One thing I learned a long time ago in trying to be as successful as I can, if I can't do the small things, I won't do the big things. It's just they don't add up. You miss too much underneath.
Right.
So the focus going forward this year for everyone should be, man, we really need to focus on the small things. Most dealerships out there aren't bad dealerships. Most dealerships are really good dealerships. They just have small things that they have problems executing. If they can slow down the speed up, and work on those small things and allow themselves to execute at an extremely high level, I will guarantee every GSM and every sales manager and every salesperson, you got an additional 20 car deals per salesperson if you can just execute the small things. That's a big number. When if you got a dealership of, think about it, you got 14 sales guys, that's 20 cars a person if you can just execute the small things.
It's funny that you say that, because you say 20 and it's not that big of a deal. And then you take it times 14 and all of a sudden it's a little bit of an eye opener.
Yeah.
I mean, not for just that person, but for the whole company.
Well, think about, where does a train leave the track? You know, when you think about a car deal and you come in, I got a good example. I had a customer, and we talked about this in our podcast, probably almost a year ago, maybe almost a year ago to the day. It's weird. We talked about eventually there were going to be people back in the market, consumers back in the market that wanted to buy a car that couldn't because of the situation that we put them in. Just last week, I dealt with a customer. Then it doesn't matter where they went. This is an industry-wide problem that they were in here trying to purchase a car, coming out of a 3-year lease on 2 cars that they leased from a customer, from a dealership.
A dealership, yep.
2 they leased. I didn't say purchase. I said leased. They were $35,000 upside down.
That's horrible.
So here's the problem with that. The person that sold them the car, I'm sorry, they didn't lease it. They were buying, by the way. The person that sold them those vehicles to begin with, they can't sell them a car, and neither can anyone else.
I was just going to say, they put themselves in a that day situation. I'll take it today, right? And I'll run with it for today. But for the future, they didn't even think about it. And then what they did was that consumer, if they're wise, will not go back there. 1. 2, they tried to come to some place that, hey, we'll take care of you. Let's figure it out. And the position that they've been put in, themselves and that dealership putting them in it, have put them in a no-win situation right now. Yeah. Not unless they can come up with $25,000, $35,000 to dig themselves out.
They are out of the industry.
They're out.
Right, and it's really, really a bad thing, and you know what? Some dealers thought about it. We thought about it. We put a big thought into making sure that we put our customers in the right position going forward. But when I see things like that, and I think about executing the small things and looking at the big picture.
Yeah.
What's the big picture? I tell you that I want to sell every customer that I get everything forever.
Right.
If that's the way you operate, you know without a shadow of a doubt that when you sold them that car, yeah, it was great, and you went in the lunchroom and you told all the buddies in the lunchroom, oh man, that was $10,000 over the MSRP, and we made so much money, and it was so great, and you know what? They ain't never coming back.
Right. Exactly.
So whoop-de-doo. You made $10,000 once. When you could have just been fair to the customer, and you could have made $2,000 50 times.
Yeah.
And you know what?
10
they would have
times
told
over.
their friends, and they would have told their neighbors, and they would have told their family. And that's where our industry has absolutely failed. And here we are, got these customers coming in here, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Nothing.
So when you asked me about, and I know this is going to jump a little bit, but when you asked me about things that we want to work on in 24, I wrote down creating more professionalism in the industry.
Ooh, we do not have enough time.
I know. I just wrote it down
on this segment to talk about that. You know what? It is going to take one consumer at a time for us to correct this, and this is an industry-wide issue. Yes. I'm talking to the regional people now. I'm talking to Toyota as a whole. We have to make sure that at the region level, they're stepping down to each dealership. And I know you can't make dealers do what they do, right? They're going to be who they want to be.
Right.
But we got to do a better job of encouraging them to understand that we are all in this together, and we have to correct this together. So the region's got to come down, and they got to start training these salespeople. And hey, I'm going to give you one at it. Hey, man, you can listen to my podcast every other week. This podcast is going to go live every other week, and we're going to be talking about how do we fix this industry,
right?
One podcast at a time.
Could be an injury.
So if I'm in the region, I'm like, hey, dude, you need to check these guys out.
Right.
Whether you agree with me or not, I will guarantee that you and I will open some eyes to what's going on.
Right.
And you know what, salespeople, when you catch this thing and you're listening, hey, make sure you share it with your sales managers. Make sure you give it to your GM. I'm talking to them too. I'm 275 pounds. Anybody come talk to me, it ain't going to bother me at all, right? We need to correct this industry, and the only way we can do that is we get out front in front of people.
Right.
Toyota needs to come down, and they need to get with their regions and say, guys, listen, we can't tell people what to do, but we need to give them the direction and what we want it to look like.
Hey, is that called the road?
Things correct.
The road? They're gonna go down the road.
We gotta go down the road.
Hey, the other thing I wrote, which you've already said today, but I'm gonna say it again, is do today what you can do. Right? Why push it off?
Man,
how many people say, "Yeah, I'll get back to them," I'll get back to you," or how many people write something down and then they don't finish it by the end of the day, but they've sat here for 5 hours looking at their computer. Do today what can be done. Steve says it all the time.
Steve shared with us something that I'm going to throw it out there, and I don't know whose it is, but I love it. I'm going to steal it and make it my own. He said, "Dend and dip. DINDIP.
Yep.
Do it now. Do it proper."
Right.
I love it. This is where the industry needs to do. We need to do things now, and we need to do things properly.
Right.
When you're doing something and you're putting that customer in certain situations where you know it's wrong and you know it's wrong, you need to correct yourself this time. Listen, it's not about selling that car. It's about selling all the cars. And that's the problem that we need to correct in this business. Listen, I'm not against making money. Okay, don't get me wrong, dude. Everybody knows me. No one likes to make money like I do. But here's my thing. I look at the big picture when I think about making money. And when I look at a customer, I look at that customer. I look at, is that customer married? I look at how many people in the household are buying. I look at, when are their kids going to drive? I look at what kind of community they live in. Do they live in a community where there's a lot of people? Is there, where do you work at? Do you work at a big organization? I want to know all these things because my goal, I'm looking at that $2,000, but the $2,000 next to it and the $2,000 next to that. Yep. And how many of those can I get and how long can I hold on to them?
Right.
That's the problem in this industry. It's there.
So for those salespeople out there, if you have one customer that you take care of them and they send you 20 people, 25 people, is that not worth taking the time, the effort to do things the right way when they're working for you now and sending people to you because you did things right the first time?
Well,
I'm just saying.
Well, here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to talk to the consumers now. And yeah, you know what? There's going to be some people that's going to, he shouldn't say that. I'm going to say what I want to say. Okay? That's what this podcast, we said we're going to keep it real. I'm going to say it anyway. Consumers out there, let me tell you something. If you get a bad experience from a car dealership, don't buy it.
Yeah. Do you go back to a restaurant when it's crappy?
Yeah. You go back to a restaurant where a cockroach walks across your plate? No. You get up and you leave and you don't go back. So it's the same thing in the car industry. If you go somewhere and you're not treated right, not because they wouldn't give you the number you wanted. I'm not talking about, I wanted $5,000 off and they didn't give me $5,000. I mean, they just absolutely mistreated you. They didn't respect what you were saying. They didn't give you the time of day, whatever. It's a bad experience, right? Don't buy your car there.
Yeah. Listen, why would you go back?
We are at 2212 South Duff Avenue in Ames, Iowa, just a short drive from anywhere in the metro. And I will tell you this, you will get the right service if you come to this dealership. And it's not just us. There's a lot of dealerships out there. In your area, I can tell you, if the guy that you're working with right now, it amazes me how many times I hear stories where customers are like, yeah, I went to this store and they treated me so bad and they talked down to me and they didn't respect me. And I'm like, but you're trading the car you bought from them. Well, I was there.
Yeah.
Organizations will stop doing that if you stop purchasing anyway. Okay, go to another dealership. You know what? And hey, manufacturers, I'm in trouble for this one. Hey, if you can't go to a different manufacturer.
Right.
Go somewhere where the dealership is going to take care of you. Listen, we take care of you.
That's right.
Period. I'm just going to tell you right now. Sometimes it makes me mad.
You're a little fiery today, and I like it.
We take care of you.
We do.
That's what we do. That's what we're proud of. That's what we hang our hat on. That's what we do.
We do it.
We take care of you. So when you get to that place, consumer, and they don't treat you right, don't buy there. Call me. I'm not going to give you my number because I don't want y'all calling me up over here. But I can tell you, you can check us out on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, wherever you can do. Reach out to us. We're online, www.wilsonofames.com. If you want to get there, hey, man, chat with us. Hit us on the chat. Hit us up. Let me know. Buy cars from places where people take care of you.
Right.
You don't have to buy a car in a bad place, right? In 2024, we're going to do a really, really good job on this podcast of getting our industry in the right direction.
I like it.
Also, in this year, we want to make sure that we do a good job of helping our salespeople become better salespeople. How do you do that? Toyota Engage, right? It's things like that. It's things like Toyota Engage. And this is the thing I love about Toyota Engage, man. You don't have to be in this industry long to know what you can find out in Toyota Engage. Every single week, every single day, you can go on there and you can take quizzes, you can take tests, you can learn, you know what's coming, you can answer any question. Dude, so here's a cool thing. So Toyota Engage has a VIN scan, and this thing blows my mind that some people don't use it. That means the car that I'm showing the customer on the showroom floor, I can scan the VIN and get all the information I need about that particular car. Right there. Thank you, Toyota.
You mean the one they asked about?
Engage. Dude, I mean, it's always funny because you always hear salespeople say, well, does this car have remote connect?
Right.
Well, dude, if you want to know, scan the dog.
So wait a minute. You just gave a tool to every new salesperson that's out there that feels like they don't understand a car, or they haven't had the time to learn all the specs on a vehicle, take your phone, hit engage, scan the VIN. You don't have to do anything except read.
Hey, listen, man. You can take both of your pockets, put your excuses in one side, and put your solutions in the other one. See which one is heavier and figure it out, man. Toyota Engage give you the opportunity to take all those hard questions that make you uncomfortable as a new salesperson, or even sometimes as an old salesperson, and it gives you the answer right there.
There's so many things you can do. You can compare vehicles, Toyota versus Kia, whatever. You can compare.
Hey, man.
What does yours have that one doesn't, or vice versa? Oh, here, let me see. Oh, here you go.
Hey, we don't plan to fail. We fail to plan. I'm giving you the plan. Okay, Toyota has done a great job of going out there. And listen, man, if you're not a Toyota dealership and you don't have a Toyota Engage, I'm sorry. Find your nearest Toyota dealership and apply, bro. That's all I can tell you. I don't know if Chevy, Ford, and them have it, but if Chevy, Ford, if you don't have it, here's the deal, man. Reach out to somebody at Toyota to see if they'll sell you the platform, bro. It's amazing, right? And then the consumers can have it as well, man. We can go on for this.
Hey, I just want to thank everybody for the opportunity to do a podcast, because this might be the last one.
Hey, I want to help you. And this is to the consumer, and this is to the salespeople out there in the Toyota world that don't know this yet. I'm sure our region does a great job of making sure that everyone in our region knows it. Good job. Big ups to the KC region. But if you're not and you're listening to this, listen, www.toyota.com/engage. It's there.
It's there.
Right? The consumer can go there as well, but the salespeople get a little more insight. So check it out, right? And if you have any questions about that, you want to reach out to us, good way to contact us, Instagram and Twitter. That's at Wilson of Ames. And if you on that Facebook or TikTok, that's
old school
Toyota of Ames. And if you want to just holler at your boy and get right to it, at Big Strong, that's 2 G's when you're as big as I am, and at Big Strong 1 on that Insta chat, holla at your boy. Hey, man, I'm looking forward to 24. We're going to give you a little more. Thanks to Chad Christensen.
Let's get it.
I am Tron Smith. Peace.
Boom. Get ready.